Yeah, so in this video, we're making another grid unclean one. We're going to be doing the kit bash slash converting process here, and this time this one's going to be in kind of a Nordic slash aquatic theme. We kind of got this scuba diver type helmet that we're going to make out of this piece from the miasmic malinifier. So let's jump into it. So I've got the foundation of him built here. Just got him together, and then we got this piece from the malefic miasmic malinifier. I can never remember the name, but we got this little rounded piece. I don't think this goes on here, but it fits pretty good to make this helmet here, kind of scuba diver helmet. And so I think that will work quite nicely. And I'm thinking I'm going to repose his left arm here a little bit. So I think I'm going to cut this around so that we can maybe pose that in a different way, because I think he's going to have some sort of anchor thing on the end of a chain that he's swinging around. Just chopping this thing off with the clippers, not being too careful because we're going to sculpt over everything afterwards. So the good thing about this arm is it's so fat that there's not really any muscular definition, and so even though it's supposed to face this way, we can kind of pose it down here and it'll look fine. So I'm going to make one of his weapons is going to be an anchor. I got this sword here that I've cut off, and I've got these spikes from the miasmic malinifier kit, and so the idea is to kind of cut this off, make kind of this anchor type shape. People have really been up in arms in the comments over me using hot glue for my kit bashes. It's something I've been doing for quite a while. I don't really think about it anymore. It's just part of my process. It works really good. It's really strong for doing larger pieces like this. You'll see here I've just pinned certain parts of the hand to the weapon here. So we got this anchor on his hand there, and for his other arm I think I'm going to do kind of a crab claw type of a big meaty claw here. I'm going to be using these tyrannid pieces, kind of splicing them together. We got one here for kind of the thumb. So we're just going to cut these up and see how we can make some sort of claw here. But yeah, people are saying all sorts of stuff, like the hot glue is not going to hold very well. All sorts of horror stories of they used hot glue one time and it didn't work. I don't know what to tell you really. I've been using hot glue for a long time. I have models that have been hot glued for years and it holds strong. It's not something you'd want to use for smaller joints, like for example, a Space Marine's arm to a shoulder or a hand to a wrist, but it's good for much larger pieces like this, especially where the joints don't fit together perfectly and you need some kind of gap filling to fill in the gaps. I've just used the default forearm here, not even really reposing it, I just glued it on, and the claw just sort of fit over it perfectly, so that worked out pretty good. I decided just to cut off these chaos spikes on the helmet. I just wanted it to have a very distinctive round shape without any of these spikes sticking up. It almost gives me the vibe of a Dark Souls or Elden Ring boss. And I'm just cutting down some of this helmet so that it fits on there. So I've got his helmet here. I've cut down the back so that it fits on here. And we got this front part that goes on, and I think I'm gonna drill this out and have a face underneath it, and I think I'm going to magnetize this on so that this can be removed, because we're going to need to paint that face, and I think I might have like a thin piece of clear plastic on here to be like the glass of the visor here, so we're going to do that. I'm cutting down this piece so that it will sit flush against the faceplate here, and I'm just taking my Dremel tool to drill some holes in a circle around here and cut out a hole for his face to go. And I've just magnetized putting some little magnets in the rim of this mask here so that we can take it off for painting, and that fits pretty well. I've just taken one of these faces and cut off a lot of it so that it fits in there, and just used some hot glue to put it in there, and I loaded up a whole bunch of hot glue behind it to seal it in, and I just glued that on there. I'm starting to put some spikes sticking out of his back. I used some of these kind of branch looking pieces from the Great Unclean One kit. I used some from a couple different kits because there wasn't enough in just one box, but I was able to pretty much fill his back with these kind of spikes sticking out. I've put this little piece on the hilt of his anchor there, and I've used a little bit of armature wire to create a loop to attach this little chain piece because I wanted a chain hanging down from the anchor, as if it's broken off from a ship or whatever. I've carved out a bigger hole in his belly because we're going to have kind of a creature ripping out of him. So I've just used the pliers to cut away that, glued in some XPS foam to fill in the gap, and I glued in another forearm piece from the Great Unclean One, an arm from the Nurgle, the Beast of Nurgle, and a face from the Great Unclean One kit. Glued a little tentacle in there for his tongue. We just have this weird little creature popping out here. I glued some of these tentacles on from the Beast of Nurgle as well. I thought these had kind of an aquatic vibe, almost like tentacles or something like that. Glued a bunch of these onto his arm there. With that done, that's pretty much it for the building process, and moving on to the sculpting. I am using some green stuff mixed with some epoxy clay. I use about maybe 1 part green stuff to 9 parts epoxy clay. I don't mix it exactly, but the green stuff kind of has a nice elasticity to it. The epoxy clay is very soft and malleable, which is nice, and it's a bit cheaper. You get a bit more volume for cheap, and so the combination of them is just a nice material to work with. You can use either or. Certainly fine, but I just find this mixture to be pretty useful. I've kind of sculpted these barnacle-like growths on certain areas, like the claw here, and that kind of hid some of the gaps, as well as just added some detail on there. I'm using some rubberized tip tools, as well as some, I don't know what you call these, but they have just little balls at the end, and then also some, I just have a needle stuck into the end of one of these that I use for the finer detail. So with that sculpting done and finishing, just tying in all the different pieces with the green stuff there, he is finished. I have one more Great Unclean One I'm going to do, so let me know if you have any ideas for a theme for that one. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for checking out the video, guys.